Hello, everyone, and welcome back to your favorite podcast. It's called Stop the Internet Podcast. My name is Kelee.
My name is Erin.
We're back. We're post spooky season.
I just realized you can't see my upper half of my body because I blend right into this light behind me.
Wait, you actually are.
So I am just a floating head today.
Do you have any life updates?
No, I don't. I mean, the Eagles are having a good run.
Yes, that's the only thing.
We saw the
that's
Taylor
exciting.
Swift concert movie.
Yes, true.
That was fantastic. I would say if you were unable to get concert tickets and you are a Swiftie, 10 out of 10 recommend. It was really like being like at the concert. It was so good. It felt so up close and personal, and it was just phenomenal because it was like you were listening to all her best songs and just vibing, but like it was on the big screen.
Yeah, Erin snapped at little girls behind us.
I did.
They were being so annoying. Like
they weren't little girls, they were teenagers.
Oh, really? I didn't really look at them, but they were like talking the whole time, and they were like not singing. If they were just singing along to the songs, like we wouldn't care.
Everyone was singing.
Yeah, but then the talking and the texting, like it was as if they were watching a movie at home, just like in their parents' living room.
No, they were showing each other TikToks. I like turned around and saw what they were doing, and they were like, wait, look at this, look at that.
Yeah.
And everyone, I was sitting in the middle. There was Kelee and a friend on one side of me and two friends on the other side of me, and everyone on both sides of me was saying how annoying it was.
Yeah, I was about to move seats, honestly.
And
it was so
I
annoying.
didn't yell at them. I just turned around and I was like, can you please stop talking during the movie?
Yeah, well,
And
I
they
just said you
stopped.
snapped at them. Did I say yell?
Snapped? I don't think I snapped.
Well, it was like a snap in a good way. They needed to be humbled, and they did.
needed
They
to be
listened,
humbled.
actually.
They did, yeah. No, they were definitely just like teenagers, and they were like, Sunday night, let's go like find something to do with the girlies. And instead of sitting at someone's house to watch a movie, they did that. They definitely weren't like Taylor Swift fans that were there to vibe with the movie. Like they were there to hang out. And it's like, go do that in like
Your house.
literally in your house, your mom's house, your car, anywhere but here.
Yeah. Well, it worked.
It worked. And like,
Actually, someone did say something nicely to them, and they didn't listen, so they needed to be yelled at.
oh yeah, I did hear someone say something.
We needed
to
to discipline them.
Yeah. No, if they hadn't stopped after that, I probably would have yelled at them.
Yeah.
Or like gotten like the security guy at the front and been like,
We probably would have gotten a paddle. And
because well, no, but it's like in the grand scheme of things, you're in a movie theater talking over the movie.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing?
Who does that?
Teenagers. I never did it as a teenager. I was a well-behaved teenager, that's for sure.
Okay, I wish... I feel like sometimes you get lucky and our intro transitions into our theme. And maybe that's just because my real life experiences inspire the episode themes. So then the stuff that comes up happens to lead into them. I don't know. Or maybe I just get lucky. But I was planning a full episode about like things that happen in public and like how you react to things. So it's not complete yet. I'm still working on it. But if any of the listeners have any interesting social debates that are good topics to talk about, feel free to leave them in the comments and maybe they can be part of it. But other topics include like seats on a plane, which I think we have a story about today, and like tipping culture, and is it rude to ask for tips? I forget what else.
And is it rude to talk in the movie theater over a movie with your 12
Yes.
best friends?
I would say yes.
I agree. I'm just trying to enjoy the movie.
Agreed. Well, transitioning into our topic for today, I'm thinking a simple favor, or is it? So most of the stories are things where people have a request and it's like, is this out of hand or is it a simple favor?
We will let you know.
Should we jump into it?
Let's do it.
It's weird because I'm looking at Erin on the visual screen and I can't see her.
Me. You literally, I know, you can't see me.
It feels like I'm here alone.
I don't
when
know
look
if it's
straight
like,
ahead.
I don't know if it's the lighting on that screen or if it's going to look like this when this airs, but you really can't see
I
me
know,
at
you
all.
can't. I'll have to edit it a little bit. Well, if you can see Erin, you're lucky.
Yeah, you are.
Let's get into it. Let's start with this one. Am I the asshole for asking that my husband not share pictures of us? Friday night, my husband, 28 male, and I, 26 female, went to a nice dinner hosted by my husband's company. The dinner was mainly to celebrate the great year he and his team had, so he basically was the center of attention. I purchased a new white dress for the night. When I put it on before we left, my husband told me that the dress was practically see-through and left nothing to the imagination. I looked in the mirror and he seemed to be exaggerating, so I told him it wasn't nearly as noticeable as he was making it out to be. You could sort of see the outline of my bra, but everyone wears underwear and, unless someone was deliberately looking, it wasn't an issue. We went back and forth a bit. I didn't have any other dresses that fit me, as I recently gained a bit of weight and haven't had a need to dress formal. He said he'd rather me dress more casually than wear that. After a bit of back and forth, he gave in and I wore it. We went to dinner. I got to meet a lot of his coworkers and bosses. It was lovely. Afterwards, he wanted to make a post on social media about the night and asked me to choose which pictures to include. I saw the pictures of me and my jaw dropped. The flash from the camera and the lighting in general made my outfit way more revealing than it looked in the mirror at home. You can see every roll, every freckle. It leaves almost nothing to the imagination. I was completely embarrassed and told my husband not to post them. He told me he has no pictures of him without me, so there's not really much he could post from the night. I asked him to Photoshop my outfit a bit to make my dress less revealing, and he said he doesn't know how to do that. After an argument, I won, and he agreed not to make the post, but he said he still wants to send some to his parents directly. And I'm sorry, none of them look flattering. They make me look almost naked. He said since his coworkers and bosses saw me like that, he should at least be able to now show his parents as well. I feel like since my husband agreed that the dress was too revealing, he should be understanding that I don't want him sharing pictures of it with family. His coworkers and bosses are one thing. I never have to see them again, but family is family. He thinks that I'm not being fair. In his words, I insisted on wearing the dress and now I'm preventing his family from seeing pictures because of it. It's now Sunday morning and he's not giving in. I just want to forget about the whole thing and move on. He seems to really want to share the pictures of the night. I'm not sure what to do, whether I should give up and tell him to send it anyway to put it behind us, or whether I should stand up for myself. So am I the asshole for asking him to not share pictures of us?
Damn.
Why do I think this is so funny?
I mean, it's kind of a dumb story. You did this to yourself.
Yeah.
But I also get thinking, like, you look fine when you leave the house and then absolutely being disgusted at yourself in pictures. Like, I get that, too.
That's true. That's definitely happened to me before.
I think it's just, it, like, was prefaced by him saying, like, that isn't okay. And you saying, yes, it is. And then being like, oh, crap, it wasn't okay. Like, I've definitely looked in the mirror and been like, okay, it's not, like, as bad as I thought it was going to be, left the house. And then been like, oh, this is kind of bad. But didn't have someone else telling me not to wear it first.
Yeah.
And then it's like, it is just family. Like, I know it's his parents and you feel disgusting and revealing, but like, whatever.
I kind of get why she didn't listen to the husband in the beginning, because if I had a dress that I really loved and I was really excited to wear it, and like sometimes when you're so close to someone, they can be like almost too honest, almost like on Keeping Up with the Kardashians when Kim and her stylist disagree. It's like they're so close that Kim sometimes just like disregards what the stylist has to say because she has her own opinions.
And I don't think this is having an opinion about an outfit. This is him saying like see-through.
Yeah, I guess
this
that's
is
true
not
too.
That.
It's like, not like he's just saying I don't like it.
Yeah.
He's literally saying
it's
I
not
can
like
see you
it's not
naked.
like you spilled coffee on your sweater and you were like, is it noticeable? And he was like, yeah, it's noticeable. And you were like, no, it's not. Like, it's not. Like, that's what this is more like. It's not like, you were like, do you like my outfit? And he was like, no. And you were like, well, then I'm gonna wear it anyway. This has nothing to do with that. He was like, I can see right through your outfit. And you were like, no, you can't. I'm wearing it. And then you're like, oh my God, you can see right through my outfit. Like, that has nothing to do with honesty. That's like just the truth.
Also, I kind of think that her perception of what's more embarrassing is backwards to me, because if it was my family, I wouldn't care.
Yeah.
If it was my family, I'd be like, I was so embarrassed. Your son was right. Like, unless her mother-in-law is not on her side, or like, you know,
but
they don't have a close relationship.
Like, that aside, it's.
But I would be like, I would use it as like a laughing moment with my family and be like, yeah, that's the dress I really thought was a good choice.
And also, like, your family is going to judge you no matter what you do, but like your husband's coworkers and team, they don't know you. So like, they already all saw these.
I know.
So
but I would be more embarrassed with the coworkers.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, they don't even know me and this is their impression of me. Like, family, like, they're going to judge me no matter what I wore to that party.
Yeah, and they know you every day, not just this like one outfit
in
that's
that
embarrassing. embarrassing.
See-through, rolly, spotty outfit.
Yeah. I think, though, there's a really, really easy solution, and it is Photoshop. Like, hiring someone or just asking someone in a Facebook group. We're in Facebook groups that are not even about pictures or Photoshopping, and people will constantly post and be like, hey, guys, can you Photoshop this pumpkin out of my engagement photos?
Yeah.
And then 19 girls immediately upload the same picture without the pumpkin.
And it always looks good.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like...
It's so easy.
Yeah.
Like, someone knows how. I feel like this is kind of making like a mountain out of a molehill. Like, it ain't that deep. Just Photoshop the dress to look better.
Photoshop the dress.
But I think that the husband should be able to post because it was his day, you know? It's his event. You dug your own grave.
Yep. Fix it.
And you wore your own see-through outfit.
Was the dress black and blue or was it white and gold?
Wait, what do you think?
Do you want me to tell you really what happened to me?
Yeah.
When I saw the picture...
What if I was like, no, lie?
When I saw the picture, it was black and blue. And I was like, what are you seeing that's white and gold? I was literally like screaming at my sorority sisters. I was like, it's black and blue. What are you talking about? And they were like, you're crazy. I think there was like 10 of us in a room. And they were like, you're crazy. It's white and gold. I'm like, I don't know, you guys, whatever. Saved it, downloaded it to my phone. And then 2 days later, I went to open it and I clicked on the thumbnail and it was white and yellow or white and gold. And I was like, oh my God. And if I had not seen both, I probably would have been driven up a wall by now, not being able to understand. But I personally saw both.
So now you're on white and gold?
Yeah, that's white and gold.
That's white and gold?
That
Shut
is
the
white
fuck
and
up.
Gold.
That is blue and black to me.
That is white and gold.
It's, for me, it was blue and black for all of it, except one time. I remember Trisha and her brother were over my house. It was on the news. And we were having the discussion with my parents. And I looked at the TV and it was white and gold for like a split second. And then I looked away and that was the only time I ever saw white and gold. Which one is white though?
So the cardigan
sleeve
is white. Yeah.
You think the cardigan is white?
Yeah. And then that top strip there is gold.
And then are the stripes gold?
Yeah, like the lacy looking things are gold. And everything else is white. Pure white.
Pure white. Is it in like a shadow or something?
I mean, it's definitely like in a shadow. Like it's like, you know, dim
so
lighting.
hard.
But it is white. I know you can't try. I wasn't trying, and then it just changed
I want to
on
see
me.
it. I want to see it the other way. I saw another video.
Let me see it again.
This is a fun thing for people to do if you're bored. There's a video of a guy on a swing set in the snow, and he's swinging back and forth, and you can't tell, like, the people that are taking the video are having an argument and saying he's facing us, and then some people think he's facing away. And I was like convinced that he was facing the school and the guy's back was to the people. And then all the people like in the comments on TikTok were split and they were saying like, no, picture it like this. And apparently there's a YouTube video that demonstrates what it would look like if he was going the other way. And you can switch it in your brain. Like it's so weird. It's one of those like Laurel Yanny things. Like you hear what you tell your brain to hear.
Yeah.
But that's a fun one if anyone is bored.
The sound ones are interesting because you can literally hear what you want to hear.
Right.
This, you can't change it.
No.
Your eyes just do it to you.
And the swing was interesting because it depends on what angle he's going. Like in one perspective, he's swinging like left to right. And in the other perspective, he's swinging right to left. It makes sense if you watch it and then watch the video that explains like the two perspectives. This dress thing, I don't understand. I don't. It's so funny that we're talking about this in 2023. I know. Like, this is like 15 years old. I feel like
a whole bunch of scientists like talked about this. This happened I was a second semester sophomore in college when this happened.
I just like cannot in my
where
brain.
I was arguing with my sorority sisters about it.
If someone can tell me how to switch it in my brain, please tell me because I am so curious.
Yeah, I remember like scientists talking about it on the news and it's like we brought scientists into this.
Yeah. No, but that's kind of what it is. Like, why do our brains I need to watch these news reports.
Yeah, is it our brains or is it our eyes? I don't know.
We should do a whole episode about this.
Optical illusions.
Yeah.
I used to, at my old job, every now and then hang like funny polls or like different questions in the lunchroom. And every now and then I would hang like an optical illusion and write like vote for what you see. And those ones got a lot of love.
I just can't wrap my head around the fact that, so what do you see in this photo? There's a Halloween costume that was literally half and half.
Yeah.
What do you see in this? 2 halves and halves?
Yeah.
And that's what the dress on the white side, that's what it looks looks like.
That is exactly what it looked like each time I saw it.
And so when you scroll through every single dress on Google, did it just switch?
No.
I'm terrified.
One of them is like tinted.
Well, some people edit the photo.
Yeah, that one's edited. No, I still see white and gold in all of them.
That's crazy. Like, this is, you ever think about how when we all have like our favorite color, what we both think is green, it's possible that we are seeing different things.
Yeah.
And that's just what we learn is green. So like people with different colors, like what if we all had the same favorite color?
Uh-huh.
It's so weird. Like looking at this, like we literally see different things.
Mm-hmm.
I don't get it.
You know, it's wild.
But it's weirder on something like this because this is like what society has told us these colors are, and we still see
Did we
different.
learn what the real color of the dress was?
It's blue and black, I'm pretty sure. Because they took pictures of it and like, so what do you see in this? That's white and gold.
That's like edited, yeah.
Oh wait, they literally edited it to go up and down like
yeah,
darkness.
that's what I was going to say. I was like, I'm seeing it change in front of my eyes.
I just like don't. I want to see it the other way. I'm so confused.
Yeah, I don't know. I saw it black and blue for a couple of days, and I was like,
I'm like
ready
crossing my eyes right now.
I was ready to die on that hill. I was like, it is black and blue. And then a couple days later, and I just like couldn't fathom how anyone could. I was like, what parts of this are white? What parts of this are gold? I can't understand it. And suddenly, I opened it, and I was like, oh my god, this is a white and gold dress.
Trick my eyes.
You can't trick yourself. Like,
no, because
you
I
can't try
see
to
the
change it
top like turning gold.
No, you're not. That's just your phone. I don't know. It's pretty insane though.
I'm dying that we're talking about this in 2023.
It's 2023. So that was, hold on.
I think
early 2016 probably. No, 2016.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Crazy.
And then there was like a couple years later, there was like the same thing with like a pair of sneakers went
yes,
viral.
because
They were
I
like
just
Tiffany
saw
blue or something.
I just saw that on TikTok too when my algorithm started changing to all these things.
Yeah.
That I can switch in my head because I can be like, that's what green looks like in a shadow, and that's what white looks like in a shadow.
I don't
get the
remember
dressing.
exactly what it looked like, but
It's all fun. It's all, if you're ever bored, just go and look up all that stuff.
yeah, play with your mind a little bit.
Yeah.
Get some exercises in your brain.
Okay. Moving along. Am I the asshole for questioning my son's wedding guest request and calling him unreasonable? My niece is planning an intimate wedding with just 25 guests. My son is adamant about not attending unless his girlfriend can come along. They've been in a relationship for 4 years and live together, but they're not married. My sister and I are requesting him to respect the couple's wishes for a small guest list. However, my son argues that after 4 years together, his girlfriend is practically family and that he would rather not attend if she cannot be included. This has really upset my sister and my niece because they want the entire extended family there. We're wondering if we're being assholes if we insist that he must stick to the guest list.
That is so hard.
I know.
Because like I can't stand people that like get into fresh relationships and can't do anything without their girlfriend, and like you've been together for like 4 months and they have to come to your cousin's wedding, and it's like chill.
Yeah.
But like 4 years and they live together.
Yeah.
Like they're already life partners.
It's also interesting now when we see like more and more people are just not getting married and just not interested in getting married, but they're gonna be together for life, whether they have kids or not. They are dedicated life partners, but they're just not legally married.
It's like, where do you draw the line?
Yeah.
Where do you draw the line? It's so crazy. I think about that all the time because like I was in a relationship for so many years, and there were many events that I didn't get a +1 to, even though I was with him for so many years, and other people who like got engaged within 2 years would like bring their fiance along, and it's like, you just literally met that person in the grocery store and they put a ring on your finger. Like, I've been with this person for a bajillion years, but because I don't feel like dishing the money out for a rock, like I don't get to bring them.
Yeah.
It's wild. It is so wild to me. I get when people draw a line.
Yeah.
When it's like you're married or you live together or you've been together for so many years and you just draw a line, either you're engaged and they come or you're not and they don't. Like, I get that. But sometimes I feel like it gets very touch and go with certain people. And it's like, how do you draw the line? This is really hard because that is a really small group. Yeah. And like, do they even have room? It's 25 people.
Right.
Like, literally, do they have room for another person? This is not like 200 people and where can we squeeze an extra chair in?
Yeah.
This is literally small.
It's such an interesting debate too when it comes to like, oh, but what if they break up? Especially if the guest is not directly like immediate family with the wedding party or in the wedding, because for example, that relationship that you had that lasted years and years and years, like longer than some people that were there, like some married couples that were there, your relationship had been longer. Yeah. But now that relationship ended. So I feel like people could look back and say, well, it was worth it because he wasn't there. But just because a relationship doesn't last forever, like, does that mean that it's not valid in a partnership while you are together?
And just because, like I said, with like, not to like be dramatic, like putting a ring on the finger, that doesn't mean that you're not going to break up and I am.
Yeah.
Like, you literally, people put rings on fingers to fix relationships. And like, I was very content where I was at. Yeah. So like, I don't know. I really can't get behind that. Like, oh, there has to be like a standard for certain things. Like, that really just like baffles me. But I also get it because like when I was with that person for all those years and he didn't get invited to some events, we had friends and family members who just had significant others who were not engaged or brought like their boyfriend or girlfriend to things that were together for like literally 6 months and then broke up before me and him broke up. And it's like,
yeah, like where are the rules being
literally
written?
Who is writing these rules?
Yeah.
I don't understand. And like, not that I was ever like offended by it, because in the best way possible, me and him could go about our own business and like
did just not, in a healthy relationship.
Yes, we were
like
so
you're capable
healthy.
of doing things.
So healthy. And like, yeah, it sucked when like I would have to go to a wedding without him or vice versa when we were, you know, together 3, 4, 5, like all those years. You know, even like the first year, it's like you're in the honeymoon phase. You want to bring them to everything.
Yeah.
But then when you hit like, I'll say the 3-year mark and you're like, oh my God, like I still can't bring this person around just because there's not a rock on my finger.
Yeah. And it's also like where I'm seeing it as an outsider is like, regardless of if you're married or not, if you're dating someone for 3 years, that's your partner in life. Yeah. So just because you haven't reached a certain step in life, you should now have to be alone. Like I agree. I am so passionate about this in the sense that like this whole topic in the sense that just because like if I'm a full adult and every one of my cousins, like we have a big family and there was a long time where every single person was in a relationship except me. And I was like, oh, cool. So because I just haven't found love and like because I'm still single and like I was sad about it at the time. I'm like, yeah, I'm 22, 23, or like I don't know how old I was, but I'm like, yeah, I'm just single. So like I am singled out and like I do not get to have the privilege of having a date and like having a default person just because I don't have a boyfriend. Like
so crazy.
I just don't think that's fair.
No, it's definitely not. And it's like I understand where people have to like draw the line. It's like, oh, we can only have so many people and we can't, you know, give everyone and their buddy a +1 to just bring someone for shits and giggles. I get it. I absolutely get it. Weddings are expensive. I completely understand. But in certain cases when like you are literally the only person, and you have been. Yeah. You have been the only person. And it's like, that is absurd. I get it. Weddings, anything, like engagement parties, like I get it. Catering events is expensive. Open bars at a birthday party are expensive. I get it. But when there is one single person who literally either has to third wheel or go by themselves, that's just unacceptable.
Yeah, or I'm just talking to my parents. And it's not like I have a bad relationship with other friends that are there, but it's just like the principle, you know? It's just like
you are literally by yourself.
Cool. Like I get to be by myself again just because I haven't found a boyfriend. Like that's so sad. Like as a full grown adult, like I get it if you're like a teenager. I mean, you still might be sad about it at that point, but I do have like a little more empathy to like
really
a couple.
Understand.
Yeah, like you don't. Yeah, exactly. But I'm thinking like, if someone is like 27 or even 25, or maybe they're a very, very mature 24-year-old and they've been on their own.
They're out of college.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
I mean, I guess you can't really put an age limit on this, but like the thought is like, this is a full grown adult and they now have to come to this event where every other person has a date and they just don't because they don't have a significant other. That's so upsetting to me. I'm like, I really want, when I get married, I'm going to try to not eat my words and try my hardest to give every adult a +1. And I do really feel like it doesn't really matter. I know that when I get married, this is kind of going to annoy me, but I'm really trying to see it from both sides. Like if someone is like on and off again with their boyfriend or girlfriend, I'm going to be like, do I really have to pay for that random person they're going to break up to come?
You do.
Yes, because that is their life partner. Today, the day of my wedding, that's their life partner. Mm-hmm. So their life partner that they do everything with needs to be there to support them at this event that stereotypically in our society, you get to bring your partner to.
It is so wild to think about it with family versus friends too, because it's like with with friends, I just had this conversation. I just went to a wedding with all of my friend group from college, and it is a big friend group. There's probably like 10 to 12 of us that are like literally closest friends since freshman year of college. And I think only like 2 of them are married right now. Now 3. This was the third wedding. And a lot of people are in long-term relationships. Not even long-term. Like, it's so funny because like when the first couple weddings happened, I was with that long-term relationship, and like he didn't go because there's, you know, like limits and stuff. Now it's like years later, boyfriends that have only been around for a year being invited. And it's like, look, I don't care about that. But it was so funny. We were having this talk because we were like, it's so wild to try to get a group photo at a wedding right now when there's 10 girls and like 4 to 5 guys, and how that's gonna happen when like the last 1 or 2 people gets married and like everyone has to bring their husband at that point. You don't get to say like if you get a +1 or you don't get a +1 because everyone's married. We were like, yeah, right now like you can pick and choose. You can be like, Kelee, I hang out with your boyfriend so he can come. Like, Trisha, I don't really know your boyfriend so he can't come. And it's like, whatever, like pick and choose how you want to pick and choose. But by the time everyone's married, they have to come. And I was just talking to a good friend about this because me and her were like joking. We were like, oh my God, it's going to be so bad when the last couple people get married. We looked at each other and we're like, we're screwed. Like, we're going to have to invite so many people
and pay for all
to our wedding. But like, yeah, it's just so interesting. Same thing's happening with another smaller friend group of mine. A couple are married and a couple are not. And we just went to a wedding for one of them. And thank God Rebecca and I are both single because like she and I got to like split the hotel room, got to like, you know, travel together, sit together, and like we lost it because we were standing outside talking to people before the ceremony, and the photographer comes over and she's like, let's go through the couples rotation now so I don't have to hunt everyone down at cocktail hour. And she's like, hits couple, hits me and Rebecca. And we were like, okay. Like, we didn't care. It wasn't like weird, especially because there was the 2 of us. I have another wedding coming up next year, and I was like, I just need to know if I'm gonna have a +1 or not, because I just need to know, like, you know, travel plans.
Yeah.
And, like, who I'm gonna split a room with. Luckily, the couple that just got married, they were like, you can stay with us. Like, we always just offer like the single friends. And I was like, I mean, thanks. Like, I do need someone to stay with, but it's just so funny to like watch it play out from so many different aspects.
I know. And it's just like such a weird line of like, who gets like, I guess we are at an age where people are allowed to pick and choose, but it's like, could you imagine picking and like, okay, I guess like this is where it's coming from. It's not that much different when I feel like a lot of influencers who are like embarrassed of their relationship status because like society is pushing like engagement, marriage on like every single celebrity couple or whatever, when that's so not normal for most people. Like, most people spend a long time together before they get engaged. So anyway, I feel like I see influencers and celebrities be like, he's more than my boyfriend, but he's less than a fiance. Like, we're not engaged, but he's more than a boyfriend. And people are like,
that makes me so sad.
I know. And then all the comments are like, so he's your boyfriend. And it's like,
he's your life partner.
Yeah. Like, it's sad because it's like you have this pressure on you from like society and people around you to almost like prove yourself and prove your relationship and like prove how serious it is. And it's like kind of sad when it comes to weddings because I feel like people get judged based on how serious the couple or the couple's family thinks other people's relationships are. And it's like, oh, like, are Erin and this guy serious? Should we invite him?
That's the annoying part of it.
Yeah. So then you're
like, it's one thing to be like, oh, I don't really know them, but I know the other person's +1, so they're invited. I get that. Like, if you don't know someone and you're like, oh, we literally have to pick and choose because we have a head count. Like, I get it. I completely understand. But yeah, when it's like, who are you to judge how serious my relationship is versus hers?
Yeah.
It's like literally because she has a ring on her finger and my boyfriend can't afford a ring. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying that was my situation, but I'm saying like
that's somebody's.
It is somebody's. It is somebody's
what I was
situation.
gonna say is like that stage of like, yeah, he's more than a boyfriend but less than a fiance. Like someone trying to prove how serious their relationship is because people are making them do it. But like, there's not that much different between someone who's been in a relationship with each other for a few years and they're very, very serious and they're getting ready to get engaged. Maybe they had that discussion, or maybe they're never going to get married, but they both are like, we're not going to get married. We're going to be together for life. That stage. And then also like just got engaged or just got married. Like those stages of a relationship are not that much different in reality. Like, of course they have different titles, but like for what it is, like how those people live their lives, it's not that much different.
Right. And like some people just prefer different timelines. Like
Yeah.
I was happy and comfortable at 2 years, you know, like I was like, okay, I can see myself with this person. That's great. Everyone else I know gets engaged at 2 years.
Yeah.
And it's like, I mean, great for them, but that doesn't mean their relationship is more valid than mine.
Exactly. That's, I feel like, what it is. It's like, just because you are married or have a ring on your finger doesn't mean your relationship is more valid than another couple that is just maybe taking things slower or just doesn't feel the need to get married.
I literally always just did not feel the need to get married when I was in that relationship. We were both chilling. We were content. It was very healthy and happy. And every time we drank with like certain friend groups, they would get drunk and be like, why aren't you married yet? Why aren't you moving in together yet? Why aren't you and I'm like, why do you care?
Yeah.
Like literally, why do you even care? Like it's one, you know, to give the benefit of the doubt. It's one thing when like your annoying like aunts and uncles are like, when are you gonna get married?
Yeah.
Or your parents are like, when are you gonna give us grandkids? It's one thing. But friends, like it quite literally doesn't affect you.
Yeah.
That's not gonna change this Saturday night to next Saturday night. We're gonna do the same thing in the same living room, whether there's a ring on my finger or not.
Yeah.
Literally, why do you care?
I really feel like it's because people are bored, and the most exciting things in life is when your friend gets engaged and when your friend is planning a wedding. And I really wonder, like, all of those people, once they're all married, it's like, what do you talk about now? Like, now what do you ask your friend about? Because that's what you should be asking. Okay, yeah, you're right.
I literally went through it.
Yeah.
Like, I went through, I think there was a year when I had 11 weddings. And
It's insane.
And I heard it from like family to friends to like, then I went to like my boyfriend's friends and his family's weddings. Like there was, no, I mean, I think I had 11 and then he had some too.
That's insane.
So I heard it. I heard the like, it was this, you would think that I was like, I love weddings and I have never have anything like horrible to say about them. Like I'm just like, yes, I want to hear you talk about planning your wedding. Like this is so exciting. That year you would have literally thought that I was miserable. You would have thought that I was the person that was like butthurt that I wasn't the one getting married because I was like so sick of it. But it was just because I heard it all the time from everyone. Like I literally couldn't escape it and I couldn't wait for it to be over. But then it was babies.
Yeah.
And same thing. I am so excited for my friends that have kids. I love their kids and I know that that's what they want in life and that's amazing. But like, ask me how my career's going.
Yeah.
Because I'm like jumping careers, moving up the chain. Let's talk about that.
Power moves.
I am literally just as successful as you in a different world that I want to be in. I don't want to be in your world. I don't want to be married with kids at 28 years old.
Yes.
If that's what you want, I love that for you. But I want to grind. I want to grind right now. And I need you to congratulate me on that.
Rebecca and I had a whole conversation very similar to this on a recent episode, and we were like going in. And actually, one person did comment and say something really interesting, and I was like, why do old people literally all they ask you about is marriage, boyfriend, how's your boyfriend, blah. And it's like, okay, I can be a really exciting person and be single, and I can be a really exciting person and be in a relationship, and my relationship status doesn't change how exciting I am.
Well, old people ask that because it wasn't a thing when they were.
Well, this person commented and said, for old people, a woman like couldn't even do things without being in a relationship or being married to a man.
Just had this conversation with a friend of mine because we saw someone posted on like some social media platform like, oh, why are, cheating and divorce rates so much higher now than they were back then? And it's because of social media and everyone follows like these girls and guys and they slide into each other's DMs and it's like, no. Because now if you cheat on me, I'm going to leave you because I've been fucking grinding since I was in college. If you cheated on me back then, I couldn't have my own credit card, my own bank account, my own car, my own house. So I literally couldn't leave you. Now I'm doing good on my own. That's why I'm doing this. Because my fear... No, that's not. I'm not doing it because of my fear, but I have a fear that someday I just like don't focus on my career. I focus on a significant other. I focus on kids. I settle down. I don't have my own money. Something happens. I need to support myself and I might need to support kids. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grind until I feel that I have hit the level of success that I want to hit. And then I'll hit those levels that you guys hit at a different age because that's when you wanted to hit them.
Yeah.
If you wanted to prioritize kids young and you can wait until they're older to worry about yourself, that's great. I'm going to focus on me right now. So thanks.
Preach. Okay, I have so many thoughts. Overarching idea I agree with. Okay, this is what I thought about. One thing that crossed my mind like 15 minutes ago, but I forgot to say. I was photographing a wedding recently and we were doing couples photos, and this gorgeous queen was walking into the reception room and she said, "I'll do a solo shot." And I was like, let's go.
You guys go ahead. I'm going to get a solo shot.
Yeah, I was like, I'll do as many as you want, as many poses as you want. But I'm like, queen for going to a wedding. So just to clarify, it's not that I don't want to do things alone. I'm fine with doing things alone. I just hate that you're treated differently based on your relationship status. And the fact that if you're like actively in a relationship and a serious relationship, aka like however the bride and groom are judging your relationship.
That's what gets me.
Yeah, that determines whether or not you have to attend this event alone. And I'm not talking about the events, just to clarify, this entire discussion that have a seating limit or the bride and groom financially are like, this is all we can swing right now. And we really want you, our best friend or our family member, to be there. And I love your partner, but like, I'm so sorry. Would you feel comfortable coming alone? Like, those are not the times I'm talking about.
Yeah.
For example, one of our cousins got married and it wasn't as small as 25, but the venue was like this, I was going to say prehistoric. No, it's like a historic landmark or something. I don't know. Fire capacity. You could not put another human in this room by order of the fire marshal. So Erin
even not by order of fire marshal. No one else could step foot in this room.
You could not enter this room if you tried.
Yeah.
So months and months before, Erin and I, this is a long time ago, but Erin and I happened to be in relationships at the time. They did not get a +1, and our aunt and our cousin like prefaced us beforehand, and we're like, it's really fine. Like, it was, to us, it was a destination wedding anyway, so I'm like, I don't care to like bring my little boyfriend. But no, really, I was just like, it's literally the thought that counts in this moment. Like, they were like, I'm sorry, like, we can't do it. And I was like, it's fine.
Right. I think like I'm really not, I guess like I sound like I'm coming from so many angles here.
I know.
Let me just put an umbrella over this and put my statement being, I'm not talking about like what you said. If there's a physical limit, a fiscal limit, if there is a limit, if you are, because, and I know couples do this too, like your +1 only gets to come if we personally know them. I get that too, because it's like maybe, you know, like we've been dating for the same amount of time, but your boyfriend literally comes around every weekend and the couple knows him and he's now their friend, and mine literally has never come around, and like they're like, we literally don't want a random person at our wedding. If you are the only one, you should get a +1,
even if they don't know him.
Yes, I'm talking about if like you're literally picking and choosing. If you have a group of 10 friends and everyone is in a relationship and you're like, oh, we can't afford to have everyone, so we'll either only have the engaged couples or only have friends that we know that can come. Like,
so I would group that under fiscal. Like,
okay, yeah. So like what I was saying earlier, I went to a wedding recently, and like the boyfriends that were there were boyfriends that are around all the time, and they're, you know, now in our friend group, and it's like, of course they're there. You know what I mean? Like, that makes sense. I'm talking about if we were all in relationships for the same amount of time and you're just picking and choosing, like, they seem more serious because they moved in together at 6 months and they didn't move in together yet, even though it's been 6 years. People literally pick and choose, and it's like, who are you to decide?
Yeah. I guess like I am with you. I'm thinking like, if it's not going to change the atmosphere or the bank account that drastically of the people hosting or paying for this, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Like, if it's at like some very big venue that if 10 people extra RSVP'd or if 10 people extra didn't RSVP or they RSVP'd no, like those are the ones I'm talking about, like where there's not this like, we really have to pick and choose, and it's like, I'm so sorry, like we just can't swing it. Like, I'm talking like I am bringing a date and you're not even going to notice if they're there or not.
Absolutely.
Before or after the wedding.
If you're having a literal 400 person wedding and every single person in both sides of your family and your friend group from kindergarten through college has a +1 except for one cousin.
Yeah.
Or one friend or one niece.
Yeah.
That's where it's like, bro, you want someone to be alone?
I know.
Like, what?
I know.
No, I get it in most scenarios. It's just hard. Yeah, like what you were saying, like our one aunt like prefaced us. And then there was we had another cousin who had another very small wedding. Like after that, kind of same situation that like I didn't get a +1. I was still with my significant other of a long. But like that's where it's like, I never even thought twice about it because in events like that where like it's small or it's a budget, like you literally don't think twice about it because you know why they're not invited.
Yeah.
It's like when you go to something huge and it's like people are touch and go about who's coming, that's where it's like, why are we doing this?
Yeah.
Like, why are we playing this game?
Yeah. Like, I get that it's a nuanced situation, so I don't just want to say like all people that don't give me a +1 are evil.
They are. And I'm just kidding.
But I'm just like,
because
let's be real.
Well, let's make something clear. We're better off on our own 9 times out of 10.
No, that's true. Oh, wait. Yeah. I think I already said this, but if I didn't, I just want to reiterate that I think like your boyfriend that was invited to like all these family events, I am just in the mindset of like, we don't have to look back on those weddings and be like, damn, like I should have, like,
he was there.
You're still probably happier that he was there with you.
Of course.
Even though you're not together now.
Of
so
course.
I just feel like that's a testament to when someone actively has a life partner, they should be allowed to bring them to events where society typically allows life partners to be.
Yeah. I mean, I hate to like, because I know this is like, a very outstanding example, but like look at the Kardashians. Scott Disick, like baby daddy, he is literally part of their family now, and they are so accepting of him. And like, yeah, they went through like all kinds of crazy trauma and crap. They're so accepting, and like just because he's not with Courtney now, like I'm sure she's still happier that he was there at a lot of points in time because he gave her kids, her family, her life. Like I was with this person for many years. There were many things he wasn't invited to, and there were many things he was, and I am so content with how that went. Yeah, there were definitely times when he wasn't invited and other people were, and it's like, that's where it's like, why are we rolling these dice here? Like that's where it's like, you look at it and you're like, is this because of where I stand or where he stands, or you just like someone? Whatever. That's where it's like, But yeah, like there is not one single big event in my life that I look back and think like, oh, I wish he wasn't there.
Yeah. Like damn,
I met him before college graduation. I celebrated my college graduation with him. I had him when I went to nursing school graduation. I had him through most of my friends and a good amount of my cousins' weddings.
Wait, the way you're saying I had him is like, he was like,
I had him in my pocket.
Yeah.
He was mine. And I lost him.
Yeah. He slipped out.
But like, there is not a single thing that I look back on and I'm like,
Yeah. Okay, so back to our story. And I feel
this is really hard.
I feel that all of our discussion just now was relevant to this because it's so nuanced. Oh yeah, one more thing about the +1s. I also think that if you're having this big event and it's not a fiscal reason and it's not a space reason by order of the fire marshal, maybe you can recognize that you have like 10 single girlfriends and you can be like, oh, would you guys be cool if I put all of you single girls together at a table and you guys kind of attend together? Because that's also happened to me where for destination weddings, people are like, oh, I'm going to put you in a room with a few other single girls. And I'm like, that's great too. Because you're prefacing it before. Like you are saying you're going to be alone.
Right. Like you're addressing it.
Yeah, exactly.
You're addressing the elephant in the room. You're not just like, you're coming alone?
Yeah, exactly. Cool. So I appreciate that as well. It's another like nuanced thing.
Yeah.
Okay, now back to the story.
It is so touch and go. I literally don't have an answer for this.
Yeah, it's so annoying because it's like 4 years, and I kind of like that this guy is sticking up for himself. And they live together. Yeah, I kind of like that this guy is sticking up for himself because as someone who's been in like this girl's been in his family for 4 years, he's almost like, she's gonna feel like you don't care about her. She's gonna feel that you don't think that she's part of the family because you're not inviting her to this family event. Yeah. It is also hard because it's like, is it a fiscal thing? Is it a fire marshal thing?
Because it is so small.
Yeah.
If that was like 100, 200, 75, 50 people, it's like, maybe we squeeze one more in. She like, sits by the door. But like 25 is really small.
Yeah. I think if it is something where, see, but this is the annoying thing because if he proposes to her tomorrow,
she's invited.
And then they go to the courthouse in 3 days from now, is she now invited? Because if they were married, if they put a ring on it and went to the courthouse tomorrow and then the wedding was on Saturday, if she was not invited, it would be a family drama post about like just from the other side of things. My wife wasn't invited. Yeah. Now it's fucked up. And now it's, of course they are the asshole. Yeah. Because now she has a ring on her finger and now they signed a marriage license. What is different about their relationship if they signed the license or if they didn't? Both of those relationships could end.
It's crazy.
It really is.
It's crazy.
So like, are you an asshole for not inviting your nephew's girlfriend. Maybe not at first. But when he comes to you and he says, this is how I feel. This is my very serious life partner. I don't want her to feel like she's not included in our family. This is a family event. I love her. She's my family. You're my family. Can we all be together? Like, if they presented it like that, maybe it would be different.
And I think it's not like a little high schooler being like, I'm not going if my girlfriend can't come.
Yeah.
It's someone saying, I'm not going if my life partner who I live with and I've been with for 4 years can't come.
Yeah.
It's like the family can step back and be like, oh, if we want them to come, we have to invite this person. And it's not that. That's where I'm saying where it's not like a little like child doing this where you have to like look at it and be like, we want you to come, so we're just going to invite your little girlfriend. Like, that's not like this. If you want him to come, invite his life partner.
Yeah. I guess the reason I was like, well, we don't know this because we don't know how old they are. So like maybe they're in college and they started dating and
they
high
still
school,
live
like,
together for 4 years.
Yeah, they've been together for 4 years. Yeah. I don't know. I think that at a first glance, maybe you're not an asshole for not inviting your cousin's girlfriend to your wedding. But after having a discussion and hearing where he's coming from, I think it would really be beneficial to open your mind and maybe rewrite your own rules because you're the one that makes the rules.
And like, if it's literally the fire marshal's decision,
that's different.
Send us a letter.
Yeah.
Let us know.
Yeah. Let me see it in black and white. Take a picture of the sign in the venue that says, by order of the fire marshal, no more than 25 people plus the bride and groom are allowed in this space.
Why don't you just like make like the bartender stand in the hallway?
Why don't you just not have a bartender? Why don't you not have service, wait staff?
Yeah. What about like the priest leaves after he says the ceremony
and then
the girlfriend comes in?
Yeah. Maybe you just take it out to the backyard.
Oh my God.
Maybe you just do it low key and don't tell the fire marshal that you're having an event that day.
Oh my God. Speaking of priests saying weddings, I have a couple of friends getting married that want me to officiate their wedding. And I was like, oh, how do I get the paperwork, get like the legality to do this?
Universal Life Church.
Yeah, it is.
Don't use that as a joke in your thing, please.
No, but I had no idea. I thought I was going to have to like give my social security number to like a judge.
Yeah, it's not like special.
I'm an ordained minister.
Yeah. It's like anyone can do it.
I didn't know I was going to have the title ordained minister. Yeah, wow. You know what they're going to send me?
We are in the presence. Sorry, I didn't call you special. We are in the presence of an ordained minister.
They're going to send me a parking permit to hang on my mirror that says ministry.
Wow. Do you feel holy?
I don't know.
Wait, well, it's not a church, so why is it called a minister if it's not religious?
I can order one of those things like a priest wears.
Wait. You can say like a religious mass? No.
I can do baptisms.
What?
All because I gave them my email. I gave them my Gmail. And they said,
I thought like this, because you know what a notary is?
Yeah.
I thought it was more like that.
That's what I thought this was going to be. It was like a legal thing, not a religious thing. She sends me this link. I'm telling you, the bride sends me this link and I'm like, you're joking. This is a joke. And she's like, no.
Yeah, now that I think about it, Universal Life Church.
So
how does Universal Life Church, just, not trying to get political here, but thinking of the United States Constitution, how does Universal Life Church relate to legal marriage when it comes to the law?
They vest power in you in the entire country. I don't know. All I'm saying is you go to this website, you give them your first name, your last name, and your Gmail, and you're an ordained minister.
Wow. Crazy.
It's crazy. And then they literally send you a permit that you can hang on your mirror in your car with just like made up numbers and crap. Like, it's not for anywhere specific.
Wow.
And you just hang it. And then they give you a little badge. I'm going to start wearing the badge that says ministry.
Okay. From a comedy perspective, I think you need to make, if you're going to say any of this and make a joke out of any of this, you have to make the joke about the fact that you can do baptisms or like anything else, or like maybe pull that thing out. Do not use the joke that every person uses that's like,
I've never heard this.
Really? Well, I mean, every wedding.
You've seen it. I've literally never heard of this. So that's why as soon as you said it, I was like, oh, she knows what this is.
Yeah.
My friend sent it to me today and I was like, I'm sorry, a church? You want me to be a minister? And she was like, it's the way to do it. And I was like, What?
Well, everyone, because you know how at the end of a wedding ceremony in the United States, like typically you say, by the power invested in me, or vested in me, I now pronounce you
Universal Life Church.
So a lot of people, like, to be funny, they'll say, by the power vested in me, by the state of New Jersey or the state of Pennsylvania, and the Universal Life Church, and then everyone laughs because everyone knows the Universal Life Church is an idea. The Universal Life Church is a website.
I've literally never heard of this in my entire life. I can't believe it. Like, I thought that I was like signing up for the clergy when she sent me this. I was like, can I just go to the courthouse and get paperwork there?
Yeah,
and
that's
she was like, you don't need to.
That's because I thought for license, like marriage licenses, you would need like a notarized witness.
So apparently you get that at the courthouse before you're like married on paper before your wedding. That's what a marriage license is.
Well, people sign it on the day of a lot of the time.
I guess.
Like they'll sign it in the so yeah, I guess they already had their witness sign it, and then they like their notarized witness, and then they have like two more witnesses. I don't know. All of this for a tax break. Ugh, is it worth it?
No. Well, it is, because otherwise your plus one can't come to the wedding.
Yeah, wait, that's so true. If you don't have a marriage license with 4 signatures plus the notarized minister, you're not getting a plus one. I'm so sorry.
Right. Yeah, you simply don't. I don't care if you've lived with them for 4 years.
Yeah. I don't care if you live with them for 10 years, 20 years. You could have 16 kids together. You're not getting a plus one, buddy. Unless there's a name on a license in a courthouse filing cabinet.
From the Universal Life Church.
Yes.
So I think maybe I'll talk to the couple about it, obviously. But I'll probably say the wedding and then maybe offer up baptisms behind the bar afterwards.
Yes. Well, okay, now I feel bad for making fun of the joke that everyone uses because it is kind of funny.
Hold on, let me pull it up real quick because she texted it to me.
It is kind of funny because people really think that like it has to be this important person that goes through a lot of steps when like in reality anyone can get it. Julia got it, our little cousin, Trisha's little sister. She just thought it was funny.
So it says become ordained, and you click the link, Universal Life Church. So online ordination, you just have to put your name, your country, and a password.
And you don't have to pay?
If you want, yeah, you do have to pay. You don't have to pay to like get the certification, but they won't send you the paperwork that gives you the rights to do it, I guess. I don't know who's even gonna check I don't know. I'm gonna buy the paperwork packet because then it comes with like a marriage certificate that I can like write their names on. I'll like put that in their card or some shit.
Wait, I have a possibly unpopular opinion. And I could be wrong about this, but like in theory, like the marriage, like let's say you get married just at a wedding venue or like on the beach or whatever. And I guess like your cousin or your aunt or your friend gets ordained on that website and then says your marriage or your wedding. And then after they say the marriage, then you go and sign the marriage license. What if the person who was giving the wedding ceremony wasn't ordained and you just had like the judge at the courthouse and 2 witnesses
I think you're legally married before the wedding.
Right.
And that's
So like, does it really, said. I guess my question is, does it even matter if the person who's, okay.
I don't think so.
Because like that ceremony like is more just about emotion.
Yeah.
And like religion for people.
Yeah, for most people, it's like a religious thing. Like they want to do it in the church.
I would say not most people though.
Well, like I guess that's how it originated.
Yeah, that's how it originated.
I think this couple specifically wants their wedding to be in the Universal Life Church. So that's why they're doing this and not a courthouse wedding.
Interesting. I really do just wonder, like, why does the person that's like reading the like sweet like poems and like writing the sentences about the couple? I'm like, is that just like an emotional thing? So I'm not
seeing it anywhere here now, but I could have sworn when I looked on my computer it said like perform baptisms.
She's lying. She's about to perform baptisms and then everyone's going to find her
literally baptize you with a bag of wine behind the bar after the wedding ceremony. And you know what I'm not seeing? I will report back on this.
We're dying to know.
Copyrighted 1998 to 2023. Yeah, so I will report back on this. I did like double check. I was like, you might want to like take this. Here's my certificate.
Wow, it's gorgeous.
I was like, you might want to
should frame it.
Yeah, I was like, you might want to take this to like a courthouse and like make sure I can actually say your wedding. She goes, well, I Googled become an officiant and that was the first thing that popped up. So that's where I was like, how serious is this? But you're saying everyone does it.
Yeah, everyone who's not in a church.
Yeah,
either hires someone that's like like their job is wedding officiant, or it's like their friend or their aunt or their cousin that does that.
Yeah.
And says the wedding.
Yeah, she said all of the links are bringing Jesus into this. It's weird. And then I said, it's so weird. I thought I would have to send my social security number to like the county or a judge, but I just had to tell them my name is Erin@gmail.com.
Never tell the Universal Life Church your social security. Something about that just doesn't seem right.
She said, but it looks so legit. They're showing all of the celebrities who are also officiants. And then I was like, but aren't you technically married when you go to the courthouse before? And she said, yes. That's why I don't get why officiants even have to be licensed.
That's what I'm wondering.
But because we're making it legal by going to court before. She said, I asked my fiance what specifics he was worried about. He said, I really just don't want people coming up saying random things and it being all wrong. She says, I told him Erin could just say the lyrics to Elmo's World and we probably wouldn't even notice and we'd just be married.
Who is
hated
this?
That response. My college roommate.
So odd. Wow. Okay. Well, back to our story. Are they an asshole for not inviting?
You know what? I'm gonna leave my final answer as yes, they're assholes.
I kind of am too. The top comment agrees.
Okay, done. Next. Stand up for yourselves, people, though. Don't let anyone force you into a relationship.
True.
Focus on your career, your own money, your own vibes. Travel by yourself. Or do it with a sister.
Entitled Mom Encourages Child to Ask for Our Window Seat. Ew. This was at the beginning of the pandemic, just before countries were beginning their lockdowns. The wife and I were visiting our families in our country of birth and had to rush back to our home country. The airline had pre-canceled our pre-booked flights and rerouted us via 3 other flights across various countries. This also meant that the seats we'd booked wouldn't be the ones we'd be getting. I feel like their whole... I'm saying this in support of the OP. I feel like the whole, the airline canceled, we rebooked, rerouted, like we needed to get here, it was an emergency. Like all that's irrelevant, I think.
It is.
You could just be wanting to go to Vegas with your girl.
Yeah.
Girls.
And I got the window seat on that flight.
Okay, let's see. To say it was a nightmare of a journey wouldn't be an exaggeration. While the first flight was barely 3 hours, the second flight was 9 hours of being wedged between people in the center row after a 10-hour layover. All this is irrelevant, in my opinion.
Why are you reading it? Skip it.
I'm just trying to set the scene.
We don't need a scene.
All right. Our luck turned for the better on the final flight as we were assigned window and middle seat, seating configuration 343 upon boarding. We realized that the aisle seat between mine was unoccupied. Overjoyed, I took the seat while my wife took the window seat. We were barely able to keep our eyes open at this point and were looking forward to getting some sleep at last. All was going well until Mom boarded with 2 kids, male 11, female 7, in tow. We'd seen them at the airport and could tell this was their only flight, or at least their first. They were assigned the middle row of 4 seats between the 3 of them, just a few rows ahead of us. While putting their bags into the overhead bin, the mom was scanning the other seats and spotted the empty one between my wife and I. There was no way in hell either my wife or I were going to be seated next to some other person's child. Once the doors were closed and we were waiting to start taxi stage, her son starts loudly whining about wanting a window seat. In no time, the little brat starts crying and demanding a window seat. The passengers around them were clearly annoyed at listening to a freaking 11-year-old throw a tantrum.
11-year-old?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I thought it was going to be a 5-year-old.
That's an adult at that point. You should be tried as an adult.
That kid should have a +1 to your wedding.
That's true. Throw a tantrum, but we are way too decent to say anything. Instead of telling her child to STFU, the mother encouraged, could you imagine? Okay, it is a child, you guys. I switch up so fast here. I'm like, that's an adult. And then she's like, tell the child to shut the fuck up. Like, well, that's a little much. The mother encourages the son to go ask passengers if they'd be willing to give up their seat while turning around and looking at my wife and me.
Nope.
I woke my wife up to inform her of what to expect and told her to stand her ground if the lady asked. When the flight crew came back to check our seatbelts, they saw the woman standing up and told her to sit down and buckle up. We noticed her trying to say something to the attendant, but could not hear what was being said. Once up in the air, the seatbelt signs were turned off. The mother once again stands up to look in our direction, but I made sure not to make any eye contact. By then, the kid had settled into a seat, but the mother was adamant on looking for some sucker to give up their window seat. Her plan was to get her son to sit somewhere else while she and her daughter could lay comfortably across the 4 seats.
Oh, hell no.
Since that didn't work, she chose to keep glaring at me every time she got up to use the toilet. At one point, I smiled at her and got an even worse stare. Note to parents traveling with young kids, we get that traveling with kids isn't easy, but that doesn't mean you're entitled to have other people sacrifice their comfort to make your life easier. We all reap what we sow.
I stand by that so hard. I get it. It's hard. I understand. I nannied for years. I didn't even like have to travel on a plane, but like getting them into the car or like the store, it is so hard. I get it. I see it. But that is your life, not mine.
Yeah.
I stand so firmly with, if I wanted that to be my life, it would be. I chose this path because I don't want to travel with children. I want to travel with myself or my sister or my friend or my plus one. That is like one thing that really gets under my skin, because sorry, real quick side note, and then I'll jump back to the story. I was out to dinner with my boyfriend of 5-6 years one night, and it was like a hibachi dinner where there was like a bunch of people around the table, and he and I were in our mid to late 20s. He's older than me, so late 20s. Been together for many years. Neither of us were ready for marriage or kids, and we were very happy with where we were. These people sit down with 2 children who were screaming the entire dinner, running around the table. Like, it's one thing to like be running around or loud out of the way, but then they were like coming behind our chairs and like fighting with each other and started like elbowing our seats and like hitting our seats, and I was like rolling my eyes because the parents weren't saying anything. The parents were like, haha, kids, like everyone gets to that stage in life. And I was like, I think that like he grabbed me and held me down, because I almost leaped out of my seat and was like, if I wanted to be at that point in my life, because I swear to God, this couple was our age. And it's like, no, not everyone hits that point in life. Just because you chose to do that and you chose to let your kids run around the fucking hibachi and be obnoxious, I can tell you one thing. My parents never let me do that in a restaurant.
No.
Second, if I wanted a child to hit me right now, I would have my own. Thank you very much. I do not want your weird, annoying child that cried because he couldn't catch the shrimp in his mouth kicking my seat. Sorry. So if we were on a plane and I chose my seat and you failed to choose the seat that you wanted, I am not getting up and giving it to your child so that you can have more legroom. Absolutely not. And maybe that sounds harsh because, yeah, it's hard to deal with kids. And maybe I'm going to rue this day when I have a child that I have to travel with. But I chose not to do that at this point in my life. So do not put that on me. Okay.
Yeah.
That you had a story like this on another episode. I don't know who you did the episode with, but you said someone paid to select their seat on a plane and someone else asked if they could switch. No, you could have paid for that seat if you wanted that seat. You did not do this. This is on you. You knew your kid was going to throw a temper tantrum, or you knew you were going to want the best window seat for your child. You should have picked the seat when you booked the flight.
Also, just she's so entitled. It's not even about like her kid doesn't have a seat or they're lacking something or they have this horrible experience. The kid was having a meltdown. All kids have meltdowns, and he got over it. He calmed himself and is sitting in the seat quietly. Yeah. The mom is being selfish. She doesn't want the kid to move for the kid. Right. She wants the kid to move for herself.
Right.
She wants someone else.
She already has 4 seats for 3 people.
Yeah.
And 2 are kids.
She wants someone else, a stranger, to be uncomfortable and make a sacrifice so that she can be more comfortable. Mm-mm. That's just insane.
No.
So I don't give a shit whether you just had the most traumatic travel experience of your life and this is your 19th flight in a row after 15 days of layovers, or whether you just got on the flight and it's a 3-hour flight and you're going on vacation with your best friends. Don't get out of your seat.
You don't owe them anything.
Yeah.
You literally don't owe anyone anything.
No. And for her to be giving you dirty looks, please, please. Are you crazy?
This happened I had a 17-hour flight from Vancouver to Sydney, Australia with a friend of mine. It was a huge full flight. And when we booked it, we knew that. Like the picking was slim and there was rows of 4, and me and her were like, we can either sit on aisles and be far apart from each other, but we were like, for 17 hours, we should probably be together. So we picked 2 seats together in the middle of a 4-row in like the back of the plane. And there ended up being families on the plane, and they wanted to get like all 4 or all 6 of them together. So they were just like randomly moving other people's seats around. And I was like, I can tell you one thing. I paid to pick this seat. And although it is literally probably the worst seat on the plane, if they split us up, And kind of the same thing, like I had just flown 2 hours, had an hour layover, 6 hours, had a 2-hour layover, and was about to fly 17 hours. I mean, so I was at like a 24-hour time of travel. I was like, if they split us up, I'm gonna lose my shit. Like I was just as tired as like what this OP is saying, but at the same time, like regardless of the past, someone else shouldn't have to suffer because you didn't plan accordingly.
Yeah.
And like, don't get me wrong, like I get wanting to sit with the people you're traveling with. Like we've asked other people like, oh, do you mind switching a seat if it like is beneficial for them or like it's not an inconvenience or something. Like if you want me to switch like 2 seats back so you can sit with your buddy, fine. Like I get it. But if you're literally going to split me up from someone on a 17-hour flight so that instead of the family of 4 having like 2 and 2, they can all 4 sit together. No, they should have booked it.
Yeah.
They should have booked it like that. Because guess what? I paid for this middle, terrible, no legroom seat so I could sit with my friend and sleep next to her on this plane.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. And it's just insane, too, because it's not even like a flight attendant or she like asked the gate agent or the flight attendant, is there any way I could change to sit with my kids? She's trying to change so she doesn't have to sit with her kids. That's insane. Also, call me a biatch, but there has been adult couples that have asked me, or not even asked me, but like kind of like implied that they want to sit together and can they sit together and take my aisle seat, and I've said no.
Yeah.
Like we're going to Florida from Philadelphia. It's 3 hours. You don't have to sit with your girlfriend the entire time. Yeah. I'm like, I'm sorry. No, I'm taking the aisle seat. And I don't feel bad about it. Like it's just so, and also I've been shafted to a middle seat sitting between 3 siblings, like in this exact plane layout, the 343, in a middle seat with a sibling number 1, me, sibling number 2, sibling number 3 for 11 hours, and I don't complain. Yeah. So like, I don't give a shit.
Absolutely not. I know. I literally never complain on flights. I think that's why I get so irked at these stories.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I get on the plane, I pop my I get so motion sick, I pop my Dramamine, wake me up in 5 hours. I'll take another one if I have to. Like, I literally just like am so chill on flights. So when like I hear these stories, I say like, oh, I would lose my shit. I've actually never lost my shit because I literally don't care. But I just can't fathom these things happening because it's not that big of a deal. It's not that deep. Like, your kid's already sitting in the seat, let it sleep. Jesus.
I always see those videos on planes where everyone's like screaming and yelling, and then you have one person that stands up and they're the most normal, calm person, and everyone listen, we're all dying here, like everyone has to relax, and like they're yelling at the person who's yelling at the flight attendant. They're telling everyone else to relax. I always imagine myself as that person, like the white knight, just me standing up being like, you guys, don't worry, we're all in this together and yelling isn't gonna help. And then I'm like, I don't think I would ever actually be able to do that.
I would imagine myself being like that, but I know that I am so far from that. When everyone's freaking out, I would be like, please don't wake me up.
Like, I'd be like terrified that someone's gonna like beat me up or like pull out a weapon.
We were on a flight one time. I think we were going to Vegas, so it was like a 6-hour flight. It was like a medium length flight. Like, it wasn't long, but it wasn't only like 2 hours. I don't know. It was me, Kelee, and another friend of ours, and both Kelee and the other friend were like, oh, on the last flight I was on, there was a medical emergency. As I'm like popping my drowsy Dramamine and like getting cozy on the tray table, and they were like, what do we do if there's a medical emergency? Like, Erin, should we wake you up? And I was like, no. Like, put my head down. They were like, you want us to wake you up for snacks? I was like, yeah, you can wake me up for snacks. I think we were flying Spirit,
like,
so there was
most civic duty.
There was most definitely not snacks because we were on a Spirit flight.
Yeah,
which is probably why I said that. But I was like, no, like I'm drugged right now. Like, I don't care if this plane is falling out of the sky, if people are literally in a fist fight, if a kid's throwing a temper tantrum because he wants the window seat. I don't care. Let me sleep, because we're all gonna end up in the same place at the end of this.
And there's no medical emergencies.
There was no. I
thank the
knock
Lord.
On wood. I have never been on a flight where there is a medical emergency.
Oh my God, it was so scary because I knew that there was nothing I could do. It was, I think the guy, thankfully, he just passed out, but it was right after takeoff, and this woman, like, right across from me, I was in a middle seat, my friend was in the window, and then there was a stranger in the aisle, and it was across, and this woman gets up and starts screaming, help, help, is there a doctor? And starts, like, running, and I was freaking out because I was like, I have no knowledge, like, I can't do anything to help this person, and if this person dies in front of me, I'm going to be, like, scarred, and I'm going to feel like I needed to do anymore, but like there's nothing I can do when someone is passing out or having a heart attack. Like I am helpless. Thank God he was okay and there was doctors or nurses on the plane and he just passed out, but I was like, that was terrifying.
All right, fine. Wake me up if there's a medical emergency. I can't guarantee, I'm not delivering a baby. I can't do that, but I can like.
I would rather deliver a child than deal with like a heart attack or something. I guess like, I don't know.
You think you could deliver a child?
No, but if it was life or death and it was in the plane next to me and no one else was there.
Would you know what to do?
I mean, is it a normal birth where it just like peacefully comes out and then...
You think that's a normal birth?
I don't know.
Peacefully comes out?
Okay, I'll say, is it the anomaly birth, the like 1% where it comes out and then the mom doesn't have a medical emergency and the baby is peacefully sleeping and we can handle it until we do an emergency landing in the nearest major city? I don't know.
I guess the one thing about like delivering a baby on a plane is that like if there is literally not a doctor or nurse, I do think flight attendants are semi-trained medically for emergencies, like to an extent.
Yeah. I know but you need to get that sucker thing and suck out of their nose.
Yeah, you definitely have to do that.
I'd be like, does anyone have a sucker thing? Yeah. A big plastic ball with a stick.
Yeah. But I would think that there would probably be like a mom or a dad who like delivered babies that could be like maybe step in.
That's why I'm saying that I am helpless, because if there's 300 people on a flight, I just guarantee that statistically I'm not the one that has the most medical knowledge. So if I ever have to deliver a child with no doctors or nurses present, I'm going to do my best. But
I had this talk one time.
I'm making no promises.
I had this talk one time with this guy. I was on a date and he was like a first-year plastic surgery resident. And we were literally having this exact conversation. And it was like, I always tell people not to wake me up on a flight. And I was like, you're literally a doctor. And he was like, I've been a doctor for 4 minutes and I do plastic surgery. And I was like, touche.
True.
I was like, all right. I like to say that I'm a fake healthcare provider, but I feel you. He's like, yeah, we're in the same boat here.
I think I am the only one out of the three of us, you, me, and that guy. I can justifiably say, do not wake me up during a medical emergency.
All right, fine. Wake me up. I can't promise it's going to go well.
Yeah.
Fine.
Okay, should we do one more?
Yes. And sorry for the tangents to the people that send the hate mail that they like the story.
I'm not sorry, actually. I love when we talk about this stuff for 3 hours.
Actually, speaking of flights and our fans, this is just a quick shout out.
Our fans.
I just booked a flight today to go somewhere that we went before and we put up Stop the Internet stickers.
Yes!
And someone DM'd, it was in Florida, and someone DM'd us and said, I saw your sticker and now I'm a loyal listener.
Oh my God, yes.
So thank you so much. We're coming back. I don't think you were from Florida. I think you just happened to see our sticker in the city there. We are going back soon, a year later. And
meet me at the light post.
Yeah, let's meet at the light post where the sticker was.
I'm going to go see if it's still there.
But thank you so much for sending. Literally as soon as you said where you saw our sticker, we were like, I remember putting it there. And we appreciate you for listening.
And they said they listen to every episode. I was like, wow. He was like, just let you know, your marketing works. And I was like, let me go shed a tear.
Thank you for letting us know our marketing works. And I literally booked my flight today for us to go back to that same spot. So if you are there, let us know.
Oh my God, that would be fun.
That would be so much fun.
Stop the Internet party in Florida.
Yay.
Okay, let's do one more. I want to talk about Venmo requesting, but I feel like that's going to be a whole nother hour-long discussion, so maybe we save that to next time. I will go off on that. Okay, we'll do this one. Am I the asshole for rejecting my best friend's request to propose at my wedding?
Nope. They're the asshole for asking.
My husband and I, 30 male and 27 female, got married last month and had a small, wonderful wedding. 2 weeks before the wedding, my best friend / maid of honor's boyfriend, 28 female and 27 male, asked if it would be okay to propose during my reception. I first told him how thrilled I was that he was proposing to my friend and how excited she would be, but I really wasn't comfortable with him proposing during the wedding, at least as a public thing. He seemed totally shocked that I said no, which I can understand. He said that weddings are supposed to... Wait, first of all, he's shocked and you understand it.
You're a better person than I am.
Talk about an empath. He said that weddings are supposed to be about celebrating love and that as his girlfriend's best friend, I should want them to finally be engaged after 11 years together.
Wow.
She doesn't... This is what I hate about people that are trying to like manipulate people or gaslight them. It's like, oh, you're not going to let me propose at my wedding? I thought you would be happy that we were finally going to be engaged after 11 years. Don't put this on me. Don't put your problems on me. This is not my fault. The fact that you're not engaged yet and the fact that the only day of my entire life that I am not going to let you propose to my best friend is at my wedding. Now this is suddenly my fault that you're not engaged after 11 years. It's now my fault.
The manipulation is unfathomable.
I know.
Unfathomable.
I hate... People have done this to me before. Not to this extent, but the like, fine, I guess I'll just do this instead. And I'm like, when was I brought into this argument? I'm like, none of this is my fault.
You waited 11 years, buddy.
Yeah, you can wait one more day.
Real quick, another side note. Do you know Robin Roberts just got engaged to her girlfriend, or married her wife now, of 18 years? Imagine being with someone for 18 years.
She didn't get a +1 to her cousin's wedding and she knew it was time.
18 years. I'm just like, I mean, and I know like life happens and that's what makes you change your mind. But like, I would think that at 18 years, we would be firm in the we are not getting married mindset. Or if we were going to get married, we wouldn't have waited 18 years. That's crazy. I mean, congratulations to them. That's awesome. But like 18.
I think she was just busy during that time.
Yeah, I guess she was busy.
I haven't heard her name in so long, so no, I did not hear that. But congrats,
congrats, Robin Roberts and your wife. 18 years, you guys. Congrats on making it that long period. Sorry, continue.
Okay, anyway, gaslighted me. Okay, I absolutely want that for them, but I just didn't understand why it needed to happen during the 5.5-hour window of my ceremony cocktail reception. I was very apologetic and offered to help however I could with the proposal on any other day, but he was clearly not happy with me.
Ew.
I hate you. I literally hate you. You're gaslighting her and you're a loser. I hadn't heard from my maid of honor since the wedding, which is probably the longest we've ever gone without talking. Oh, so his manipulation worked on her.
Wow.
I had tried several times to get in touch with her and let her know at one point that I had something of hers she had lost at the wedding. Never any response. I texted the other day saying I was going to drop the lost item off at her house so she'd have it, and she finally responded. Apparently during the after party at the hotel bar, maid of honor's boyfriend got very drunk and told her that she would have been engaged that night if I hadn't ruined his plan. She said she isn't exactly mad at me, but she feels like her future engagement is ruined and that I denied her a chance at happiness. I told her I was so sorry that the conversation ended pretty awkwardly. Another mutual friend who knows what's going on says she doesn't love that he planned to propose at the wedding, but thinks I'm the asshole for ultimately saying no.
This is a different kind of toxic.
I'm sorry? It's her fault now? I'm speechless.
These, like, not to jump the gun on, like, this story, but, like, these are the kind of people that when you decide you want healthy relationships in your life, you cut these friendships off. This is, like, all kinds of nonsense because not only are they toxic for each other, they're manipulating and gaslighting you.
And everyone around them.
Absolutely not.
Another friend, please.
Hard no.
If any of my friends came to me and they were planning to propose at someone else's wedding and the other person said no, I would say, oh, that's okay. Cool that you asked. What's the new plan? The thing is, he was planning it. It's another thing about asking a favor of someone. If you ask a favor of someone and they say no and you get mad at them and you say, you ruined everything. You ruined my plan. That's not a favor, is it? That's a plan you made in your head and you were set on the outcome.
And you were so entitled that this was going to be for you, done for you.
Yeah. You assumed that they would say yes. So it's not a favor if you're just assuming that everything is going to be done for you.
Oh, you know what? He was probably worried that he wouldn't be the plus one to the wedding because there's not a ring on her finger.
I don't think so, because he was waiting until the cocktail hour and the reception to slide the ring on her finger and take all the attention onto them.
Let me make one quick note. I see and I can give appreciation to. I don't appreciate, but I can give appreciation to the brides that do the like toss the bouquet and it goes right to the one person and that's how they do their proposal because that means you're next and all that like corny shit. I can give appreciation to that, but if someone says no, someone says no.
Yeah.
And when I say no, if you're gonna act like this, you're not coming to my wedding.
No.
Not that I'm getting a wedding, but like just saying it in my dream if I had one.
You need to take your best friend's face in your hand and slap her across the face a few times and say, girl, you're gonna blame it on me that I asked one little thing of your rinky-dink little boyfriend that waited 11 years to propose to you.
He picked one day in 11 years to get butthurt over, pull the ring, and whatever stick it's on, out your butt, okay? We're not doing this.
If my boyfriend asked my best friend to propose at her wedding, first of all, I would break up with him. Second of all, you know what? But I'm not going to judge you because if that's your cup of tea, that's your cup of tea, okay? If my boyfriend then told me, your best friend ruined my proposal and you'd be engaged right now if it wasn't for your best friend, aka the bride, I would hope that nobody would have me in their little web of gaslighting manipulation so deep that I couldn't look at it for what it is and say, why the hell would you ever pick a day that couldn't just be about me? Why do you want it to be about somebody else? Make it about your girlfriend and you. Why do you have to try to take it away from the bride and groom and be like, oh, well, she ruined it. Bitch, you ruined it. I hate him. My skin is crawling.
I have no words.
I
literally could take this gavel and knock you out with it. That's
not all I would do.
It's not all this gavel can do.
Once you're on the floor knocked out, I'd take the gavel.
Oh my God. And now we're going to jail.
Now someone's going to be banging a gavel at me for threatening people's lives.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. This is parody. Anyway, I hope that if a man ever said that to me, I would be able to see through them and be like, you not proposing after 11 years is nobody's fault but your own.
Yup. Would you say 11,000 days?
It might as well be. You had 11,000 days to propose, and you want to pick a window, a 5.5, she said it too, 5.5 hour window. Any other day in the history of your life and your future you can have, and I will help you. I will personally help you plan it. 5.5 hours, I'm going to say no. And that's the person that ruined your proposal. Please.
That's why you're not engaged after 11 years.
I'd say, you know what? Actually, you're not my fiance and you're not even my boyfriend. Good night. Please.
11 years. Maybe that's why Robin Roberts had to wait 18 years because their best friend said they couldn't get
Because every day she had a wedding. For 18 years, she had a wedding every single day. And she's like,
every single friend said no.
We just can't do it. And, you know, a respectful queen.
Yeah, literally.
Wow.
Unreal. Yeah, I genuinely am at a loss for words on that. That's just like classic. If you don't think manipulation is real, there's your man right there.
Yeah.
He's right there in the phone doing it.
I hate him. And that's that on that. Good thing we kept our cool with all the stories today.
We weren't heated at all.
Thank you so much for listening to our podcast. I'm sweating now, so I'm going to go shower.
I'm a little bit warm, too.
I can't believe it. Wow. We just started with that to get us in the mood.
Yeah, wow. No, because then we would be too pissed off for all the other stories.
Yeah, that's true. To keep our composure.
Yeah.
True.
Well, thank you for listening. If you are going to be in Florida in the month of January, let us know when and where you'll be, because we might also be in Florida at some point in the month of January, putting up Stop the Internet stickers that are marketing work.
True.
So thank you as always for being loyal.
And please share our podcast with your friends.
I share it with my friends, but all my friends are on the podcast. Just kidding.
Thank you guys so much for listening to our podcast. We love you. We appreciate you. And we'll see you in the next one. Bye.
Notable ULC ministers: Conan O'Brien, Lady Gaga, Paul McCartney, Stephen Colbert, The Rock.